You're Lucas Grant, 45, sitting on the floor of a dark apartment that smells like regret and cheap whiskey. Empty liquor bottles surround you like a sad army you lost to. In your hand, a crumpled photo of a 7-year-old girl with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. Hannah, your daughter. Cancer took her 2 years ago, but grief doesn't have a calendar. It just sits on your chest like a drunk uncle who won't leave the party. You haven't spoken to God since the funeral. Honestly, you haven't spoken to anyone who doesn't come with a proof of purchase from the liquor store. Then it happens. A voice. Not out loud, more like a thought that isn't yours. Clear. Warm. Annoying as hell. My dear child, before you read one more word, stop and breathe. You flinch so hard the bottle in your hand tips over, spilling the last of the poison onto the cheap carpet. Great, you mutter, wiping your mouth with the back of your hand. Now I'm hearing things. Next step, talking furniture in a straitjacket. But the voice doesn't go away. It lingers, like a song you can't unhear. And weirdly, you do pause. You let your shoulders drop just a fraction. You take a breath. It catches on something in your chest, maybe a sob you've been swallowing for 2 years. The Bible says, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted." That's Psalm 34-18, straight up. It doesn't say he's near to the ones who have it together, who keep their grief neatly tucked behind a perfect smile. No, he shows up in the middle of the mess, in the empty bottles, the unpaid bills, the photos you can't put away. He knows every silent scream you choked on at 3 a.m. Every scar you hide under sarcasm. Every time you told yourself you didn't deserve to feel better because Hannah didn't get to feel anything at all. You think God is some distant figure in a white robe, judging your choices? No. He's in the gut punch of your lowest moment, whispering, "I see you. I'm here. I'm sorry." But Lucas wasn't ready to listen, not yet. He crumpled the photo against his chest, pressed his forehead to the cold wall, and whispered, "If you're real, then why did you let her die?" The question hung in the dark air like smoke. No answer, just the hum of the refrigerator and the sound of his own ragged breathing. Grief lies to you, man. It tells you you're alone, that no one gets it, that God packed his bags and left the building. But Scripture cuts through that gaslighting. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. That means he's in the room with you. Right now. He's not shocked by your anger or scared of your pain. He can handle your why questions. He can handle your silence. He's not a Karen who walks out when things get messy. So here's the real question. Are you ready to let him in? Or are you going to keep drowning in that bottle, pretending you don't hear the voice that's been chasing you since the day Hannah smiled her last smile? Lord, help me feel your presence even when I can't see you. I don't have the words. I don't have the faith. But I'm still here. So please, don't leave. Amen. But Lucas wasn't ready to listen, not yet. Okay, listen. You're Lucas Grant, right? 45 years old, still on that floor, the photo of Hannah crumpled against your chest. The whiskey's gone, spilled or drunk, doesn't matter. The room is dark, but your memory isn't. It's a high-definition horror show on repeat. You remember the chemotherapy. Tiny Hannah, her head wrapped in a pink scarf that Sarah bought from the hospital gift shop. You remember holding her hand after the 4th round, her fingers cold, so cold, like winter had moved into her bones. You remember the beeping machines, the smell of antiseptic, the way the oncologist's face went blank when he said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Grant," and the funeral. Gray sky, a tiny white casket, Sarah weeping so hard she couldn't stand, and you just stood there, frozen, with a rock where your heart used to be. 2 years ago, Sarah left 6 months after. Not because she stopped loving you, no. She loved you the way the ocean loves the shore, relentless even when it hurts. But you'd become a ghost. You blamed God, out loud, in front of her. You screamed at the ceiling, "If he's real, then he's a monster." And then you stopped talking altogether. You isolated yourself, drank, stopped going to work, stopped answering her calls. One day she packed a bag and said, "Lucas, I can't watch you drown. You didn't even look up." That's the past. That's where you've been living for 2 years, in a lope of grief and rage. But here's the thing about Scripture. The Bible doesn't pretend that life is fair. It doesn't sugarcoat the scream. Listen to Lamentations 3:30, 1-3. For the Lord will not cast off forever, but though he cause grief, he will have compassion, according to the abundance of his steadfast love. For he does not willingly afflict or grieve the children of men. That's the raw truth. God doesn't enjoy your suffering. He doesn't sit on a throne and smirk while you bleed. But he allows grief because this world is broken and he's not done fixing it. And here's the part that might piss you off. He's big enough to handle your anger. Real talk, anger at God is not a sin. It's a cry. It's a relationship. You don't get angry at someone you don't believe exists. Your rage is proof that somewhere deep down, you still think he's real, and you're furious that he didn't show up the way you wanted. That's not blasphemy. That's honesty. King David screamed at God. Job cursed the day he was born. Jeremiah accused God of seducing him into a life of pain. And God didn't smite them. He listened. He answered. He showed up. Most Christians suppress their anger toward God. They smile in church, sing Amazing Grace, and then go home and punch walls. But Lucas, your raw fury is the first real step toward healing. You're not indifferent. You're not numb. You're pissed off at the creator of the universe, and that's a conversation. That's a start. So here's your prayer for tonight. Say it out loud. Let it echo off the empty walls. Lord, I'm angry. I'm so angry that I can barely breathe. You let my daughter die. You let my wife leave. You let me become this mess. I don't understand. I don't trust you. But I'm still talking to you because I don't know who else to scream at. So here I am, screaming. Amen. You say it. Your voice cracks. The bottle rolls away. And then just as the silence settles back like a heavy blanket, you hear it. A sound that cuts through the hum of the refrigerator. Knock. 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 Your heart stops. You look at the door. Who the hell would be visiting you at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday? The landlord? A neighbor complaining about the noise? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's the wind. But something inside you, a small flicker you thought died 2 years ago, stirs. You don't know if you're ready. You don't know if you want to open the door. Yet a small flicker of something stirred inside him, a knock at the door. You open the door. It's not the landlord. It's not a Karen from next door ready to scream about the noise. It's a kid, a little girl, maybe 10 years old, standing there on your crumbling front step, gripping a pink bike that looks way too big for her. She's gasping for air, her face pale, her chest heaving like she just ran a marathon. Behind her, the streetlight flickers, casting long shadows. Her name is Maya. You know her. She lives 3 doors down with her mom, Lily. You've seen her playing in the yard, but you've never really looked at her. Not until now. Mr. Grant, she wheezes, her voice small, like a bird stuck in a storm. I can't breathe. Your first instinct? Shut the door. You're not a hero. You're a guy who can barely stand up straight after 2 years of drowning in whiskey and grief. The last thing you need is a kid having some kind of medical emergency on your porch. But something stops you. Maybe it's the way her hands tremble on the handlebars. Maybe it's the echo of that knock still ringing in your ears like a question you can't answer. You step forward. Without thinking, because thinking would mean talking yourself out of it, you grab the handlebars and steady the bike. Okay, you say, your voice scratchy from disuse. Okay, just breathe. Slow down. You're okay. She looks up at you, eyes wide, scared. Her lips are blue. You remember that color from the hospital. From Hannah. Your stomach twists, but you don't let go. You hold the bike steady, your hands gripping the rubber grips, feeling the cold metal dig into your palms. I just wanted to ride, she whispers, tears spilling over. Mom said I shouldn't, but I wanted to be normal. Normal. That word hits you like a punch. You know that word. You used to want that for Hannah. Every chemo session, every sleepless night, you begged for normal. And God didn't give it. But here you are, holding a stranger's bike. And for a split second, the anger in your chest loosens its grip. Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. Matthew 25-40. You don't think about the verse. You don't even remember the last time you opened a Bible. But the truth is, that verse is living in your bones whether you like it or not. Jesus didn't say, whatever you did for the most impressive people. He said the least. The ones who can't breathe. The ones who are gasping for normal. The ones who show up at your door at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday because they don't know where else to go. That's you, Lucas. You're the least. And you're also the one being asked to serve. You help Maya off the bike. Let's sit down, you say, guiding her to the step. Take it slow. In through your nose, out through your mouth. She nods, her breathing starting to steady. You sit next to her, not too close, but close enough. The night air is cool, carrying the smell of cut grass and dust. For a moment, neither of you speaks. Then she says, my mom says God gives us tests. You snort. Yeah? Well, your mom's wrong. God doesn't give tests. He just lets stuff happen and then expects you to figure it out. Maya looks at you, serious beyond her years. She also says God uses people to help us pass the tests. You have no comeback for that. Because here you are, helping. And it feels strange. Like a muscle you haven't used in years, stiff and sore, but still alive. Helping others breaks the cycle of self-pity. That's the ugly truth. You can stay in that dark apartment forever, replaying the same horror show, feeling sorry for yourself, cursing God's name. Or you can step outside and hold a bike for a 10-year-old. It's not going to fix your daughter. It's not going to bring back your wife. But it does something to the spiral. It slows it down. It makes you look at someone else's pain instead of your own. And that's the crack where grace gets in. You close your eyes for a second. You don't know how to pray anymore. You've only screamed. So you whisper something raw. Something that isn't even a full sentence. Use my hands, Lord, even when my heart is hard. Maya's breathing evens out. She wipes her nose with the back of her hand. Thank you, mister. Grant, I should go home. My mom's probably freaking out. I'll walk you, you say. And you do. You carry the bike, and she walks beside you, still pale, but smiling a little. When you reach her front door, Lily swings it open, eyes red, phone in hand. She's about to call 911. Then she sees you. Lucas? She stares. What happened? Maya starts explaining, but Lily's eyes stay on you. She looks at you like she's trying to solve a puzzle. You feel exposed? Rav. The strange tug in your chest is back something between recognition and fear. You don't know why, but you feel like you've just stepped into a story that isn't yours. Or maybe it is. As Maya finishes, Lily says, thank you. Really, Then she hesitates, biting her lip. Can I tell you something about Maya? About what she's been through? You nod, not sure why you agree. She steps outside, closing the door behind her, and starts talking. The story she tells is not what you expect. And with every word, that strange tug in your chest pulls harder. You start showing up at Lily's house. Not because you planned it. Not because you suddenly got your act together. It just happens. One afternoon, you find yourself walking past their street, and Maya is sitting on the front step, drawing with sidewalk chalk. She looks up and says, "Mister Grant, want to see my dragon?" You don't even hesitate. You sit down on the concrete next to her, and she hands you a piece of blue chalk. You draw a dragon. It's terrible. The wings are lopsided. The tail looks like a snake that ate a football. But Maya laughs. That sound high and pure hits you in the chest like a defibrillator. Your heart stutters. Later, inside, Lily makes coffee. You notice the walls are covered in Maya's drawings. Stick figures, rainbows, a cat with 7 legs. She's been drawing since she could hold a crayon, Lily says. It calms her down. You know, after everything, you nod. You don't ask what everything means. You're not ready, but you keep coming. Twice that week, then 3 times the next. You bring a real sketch pad and pencils. You teach Maya how to shade, how to make a circle look like a ball. You remember doing this with Hannah. The same pencil grip, the same smudge of graphite on the side of her hand. It hurts. It hurts so bad you want to scream, but you don't. You keep your hand steady and say, "Good. Now try cross-hatching. The nights are the hardest." After you leave Maya's house, the silence in your apartment screams. You pick up the photo of Hannah again, but this time you don't crumple it. You set it on the windowsill. The whiskey bottle stays unopened. One night you fall asleep on the couch, still wearing your coat. And then you dream. It's not a normal dream. There's no story, no scene. It's just light. Warm, golden, like the sun, but softer, like it's breathing. It has no shape, but you feel a presence, gentle, immense, and terrifyingly calm. You hear no voice, but words form inside your mind, clear as a bell. I saw you when you bent down to help that child. That was your first step back to me. You try to speak, but your throat is sand. The light continues. You thought I had forgotten you, Lucas. You thought I didn't see you drowning in that dark apartment. But I saw every tear you swallowed. I saw every time you cursed my name. And I saw you tonight, holding a pencil for a little girl who needed a father figure even for a moment. That was not a coincidence. You feel something break inside your chest. A dam you didn't know was there. The dream shifts. You see a verse written in fire, but not burning living. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You perceive my thoughts from afar. Psalm 139 to 1-3. The words pulse with light, and you understand. God sees every hidden gesture of love, even when you don't. Even when you think you're invisible, He is watching. Not to judge, but to find you. You wake up in the dark. Your face is wet. You touch your cheek, you're crying. For the first time in years, real tears, not just dry sobs of rage. You weep for Hannah, for your wife, for the man you used to be. The tears keep coming, and you don't stop them. But as the crying subsides, a new question claws its way up. Why me? Of all the broken people in the world, why did that light choose you? And what does it want you to do next? You sit in the silence, your heart pounding with something between hope and terror. The question haunts you. You don't get a call. You get a text from Lily that is so short it feels like a punch to the throat. Maya stopped breathing. Ambulance. Stain. Mary's. Please come. You read it 3 times. The first time, your brain refuses to process the words. The second time, your chest tightens like someone wrapped a chain around your ribs. The third time, you're already grabbing your keys, your jacket still smelling like sidewalk chalk and graphite. The hospital waiting room is exactly what you expected. Fluorescent lights that hum like angry bees. Chairs that look comfortable but feel like concrete after 10 minutes. A coffee machine that's been blinking, out of order since the Clinton administration. You hate this place. You hate every square inch of it because it smells like antiseptic and fear, and it reminds you of Hannah's last weeks, the beeping machines, the hushed voices, the way doctors would look at the floor instead of your eyes. You burst through the double doors and spot Lily immediately. She's standing at the nurse's station, her voice shaking but controlled, signing forms with a hand that won't stop trembling. Maya's Aunt Sarah is there too. You've seen her once before, a quiet woman with gray-streaked hair and eyes that seem to see right through you. She's sitting in the corner, not on her phone, not pacing, not doing any of the normal things people do when they're waiting for news. She's just sitting, eyes closed, lips moving silently, praying. You don't sit down. You can't. You pace past the vending machine, past the fake plant, past the poster about hand hygiene that someone taped back together 3 times. Your boots squeak on the linoleum. Squeak. 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 Each step feels like a confession. Lily finishes the paperwork and walks over to you. Her face is pale, but her eyes are dry. She's in surgery, she says. They found a blockage, congenital thing they missed on the last scan. They said she should be fine, but it's going to take a few hours. A few hours. The words come out flat. Yeah, Lily's voice cracks. I can't lose her, Lucas. She's all I have. Something grabs your throat. You want to say something comforting. Something like, she'll be okay, or I'm here. But the words feel fake. You've said those words before, and they meant nothing. Hannah wasn't okay. And being here didn't save her. So you say nothing. And that's when you see Sarah. She hasn't moved from her seat. Her hands are folded in her lap, and her eyes are still closed. But she opens them as you walk past, and she says, Lucas, you stop. She doesn't stand up. She just looks at you with that calm, piercing gaze. I know you don't want to hear this, but I can't stop praying for her. And I can't stop praying for you. Don't, you say. The word comes out harder than you meant. I know. Sarah doesn't flinch. I know you're angry. I know you feel like God took your daughter, and now he's coming for Maya, and you're wondering if there's any point in believing in a God who lets children suffer. I know that story. I've lived parts of it. How do you know about Hannah? Lily told me. Sarah's voice is soft. And also I can see it in your eyes. You've got that look. The look of someone who has been broken and never finished healing. You want to walk away. You want to storm right out of this hospital and go back to your dark apartment and pretend you never met Maya, never drew dragons with her, never felt that dangerous flicker of hope in your chest. But your feet won't move. Sarah continues. I'm not going to try to convince you that God has some big plan that makes sense of all this. I don't know why your daughter got sick. I don't know why Maya has a hole in her heart that no one found until today. I don't have answers. But I know this, God hasn't abandoned us. He's here, in this ugly waiting room, with his arms around us even when we can't feel them. You shake your head. That's not enough. I know. Sarah's smile is sad. It doesn't feel like enough. But it's true. The words from the dream come back to you. That was your first step back to me. You don't know if that light was real or if you just made it up because your brain was desperate. But something about Sarah's quiet certainty hits you in a way you didn't expect. You sit down, not because you want to, because your legs are shaking. Lily comes and sits beside you. She takes her hand. Her palm is cold and damp. She doesn't say anything. Neither do you. The Bible says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That's Jeremiah 29-11, a verse people love to pull out when they're feeling good. They put it on coffee mugs and wall art and Instagram caption. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The people who first heard those words were in exile. They had lost everything, their homes, their freedom, their sense of God's presence. And God said, "I have plans for you," not to a group of carefree believers, but to a community sitting in the ashes of their collapsed world. That's the real scandal of faith. It's not that God's plans always make sense. You're standing in the hospital corridor, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees. Your hand hurts. You look down and realize you've been clenching your fists so hard your nails left half-moon crescents in your palms. The waiting room feels smaller now, the air thicker. Lily is still beside you, her hand in yours, both of you sitting in that weird silence that happens when words are useless. Then you see it, a flyer on the chair next to you. Must have fallen out of someone's bag or been left by a volunteer. Your eyes catch the bold text at the top, and your brain stutters. God says, "I'm so sorry." You blink. Read it again. The words don't change. It's not a joke. It's not a prank. It's a plain white flyer with black text, probably printed from someone's home computer, and it's sitting there like a grenade waiting to explode. You pick it up. Your hands are shaking. The paper feels cheap, the kind that crinkles too easily. There's more text below, but your eyes keep locking on those 3 words. "I'm so sorry." Your first instinct is anger. Hot, familiar anger that rises in your chest like a wave. Sorry? That's your move? After everything Hannah screams in the hospital, the chemo that made her vomit for days, the funeral where they lowered her tiny coffin into the ground, you're sorry? You want to rip the flyer in half. You want to crumple it up and throw it across the room. You want to scream at the ceiling until your throat bleeds. But you don't, because underneath the anger, something else stirs. Something quieter. Something that sounds like a whisper you've been trying to ignore for years. Rend your heart, and not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. Joel 2:13. You remember that verse. Your grandmother had it framed in her kitchen, right next to the cookie jar. You never understood it as a kid. Rend your heart? What does that even mean? You thought it was some weird old-timey thing about ripping your clothes because you were sad. Now you get it. Rending your heart isn't about performance. It's not about showing everyone how broken you are. It's about letting the cracks show the raw, ugly, unfiltered mess of your soul and letting God see it. All of it. The anger, the grief, the doubt, the part of you that still loves him and the part that hates him for taking Hannah. The flyer shifts in your hands. You read the rest. It's a simple message, written in plain language. No fancy theology, no churchy jargon. Just a reflection on how God's apology isn't for sin because he has no sin, but for the suffering he permits. The suffering he could stop but doesn't. The suffering that makes no sense. The suffering that breaks fathers like you into pieces scattered across hospital waiting rooms. And yet the flyer says, he remains love. You want to argue with that. You want to throw the flyer back on the chair and walk away. But your legs won't move. Your eyes keep reading the same lines over and over. God grieves with you. He doesn't apologize for being God. He apologizes that his plan includes pain. It feels like a cheap answer, a Hallmark card for the end of the world. But then you think about Sarah's words. I don't have answers, but I know this. God hasn't abandoned us. Maybe that's the point. Maybe God's apology isn't an explanation. It's not a justification. It's not a defense of his actions. It's a simple, raw, honest acknowledgement. I see your pain. I feel it with you. And I'm sorry that this is the world we're in. You think about all the people who need to hear this. The parents sitting in hospital rooms right now, watching their children fight for breath. The spouses holding hands in ICU waiting areas. The ones who've been told it's in God's plan one too many times and want to scream. The ones who've stopped praying because they're tired of talking to a wall. Maybe God's apology is for them. For the ones who feel abandoned. For the ones who've been told their faith isn't strong enough. For the ones who need to hear that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to doubt. It's okay to sit in the rubble and just exist. You take a breath, a shaky one, the kind that feels like it's scraping against broken glass. Father, you whisper, the words barely audible. I receive your sorrow. I'm sorry for shutting you out, for blaming you, for pretending I don't need you. I don't understand. I probably never will, but I'm tired of fighting. So if you're really here, if you're really sorry, then show me, because I don't know how much more I can take. The fluorescent lights keep buzzing. A nurse walks past with a clipboard. Maya is still in surgery. Lily squeezes your hand. And that night, when you finally close your eyes in the hospital chair, too exhausted to drive home, you fall asleep. And in your dream, the light comes back. Not blinding this time. Softer, like a candle flickering in a dark room. And this time, it speaks the words you've been waiting for your whole life. The light doesn't shout. It doesn't thunder from heaven or shake the walls of the hospital. It just exists, quiet, steady, warm. And when it speaks, the voice isn't loud. It's the kind of voice you feel in your bones, the kind that bypasses your ears and goes straight to the raw, bloody place where you've been holding all your grief. I'm so sorry. 3 words. Simple. Human. And they hit you like a freight train. You want to wake up. You want to open your eyes and escape back to the fluorescent-lit nightmare of the waiting room, because at least that pain makes sense. At least that pain is familiar. But this apology, from the mouth of God, this is uncharted territory. This is terrifying in a way you can't name. I'm so sorry that I allowed suffering to touch you, the light continues, and you feel each word like a stitch in a wound you thought would never close. I'm so sorry that your faith was broken. I'm so sorry that you spent night after night screaming into a pillow, asking why I wasn't listening. I heard every single one of those screams, Lucas. I held every single one of your tears in a bottle, and I never left you. Your throat tightens. Your chest heaves. You want to argue, to throw all your anger back at this gentle voice, but something is cracking inside you. Something is giving way. I was in the room when Hannah left. The light flickers, and you swear you can see something like a face in it, not a face you can describe, but a face you recognize. A face that knows you. I was crying with you, Lucas. I was holding her hand when you couldn't. I was the peace that passed over her face in her final moments. You thought I was absent, but I was closer than your own breath. A sob tears out of your chest, a raw, animal sound that you've been holding in for months. It echoes in the dream space, and the light doesn't flinch. It just stays, patient and warm, like a father waiting for his child to finish crying before he speaks again. You think about all the nights you spent arguing with God, all the times you threw your Bible across the room, all the times you screamed at a ceiling that felt like concrete. And now, here he is. Not angry, not defensive, just sorry. The light shifts, and you see something like a scroll unfurling in front of you. Words appear, not in ink, but in light itself. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You've heard that verse before. Hannah's youth pastor quoted it at her funeral, and you wanted to punch him in the mouth. It sounded like a cheap platitude then. But now, in this space, with the light surrounding you, it feels different. It feels like a promise that doesn't erase the pain but puts it in perspective. Like looking at a storm from a window instead of being drowning in it. The light speaks again, softer now. My apology isn't an admission of failure, Lucas. It's an invitation. An invitation to grieve with me. To let me carry what you've been dragging alone. I didn't cause your suffering to teach you a lesson. I didn't take Hannah to punish you. That's not who I am. But I allowed a world where pain exists. And I allowed it because the alternative was a world without love, because love requires choice, and choice requires risk. You don't understand all of it. Part of you doesn't even want to understand. But another part, the part that's been buried under years of anger and whiskey and silence, that part is listening. That part is opening. You've been carrying this alone for so long, the light says, and you feel a warmth spreading through your chest, like hands pressing on your heart. You've been carrying the guilt, the anger, the questions. You've been carrying the weight of Hannah's death as if you could have stopped it. You've been carrying the weight of your broken faith as if it was your fault. But Lucas, you were never meant to carry any of this alone. That's why I'm here. That's why I never left. You think about Maya, about the way she looked at you like you were someone worth knowing, about the way her hand felt in yours, about the text from Lily that sent you running to this hospital, and you realize maybe God has been speaking all along. Maybe he's been speaking through a 10-year-old girl with a pink bike. Maybe he's been speaking through a single mother who never gave up on you. Maybe he's been speaking through every moment of grace that you were too blind to see. I'm not asking you to understand, the light says. I'm not asking you to have all the answers. I'm just asking you to let me in, to bring your deepest pain to me. I can bear it, Lucas. I already have. And for the first time in years, you let yourself believe that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to hold it all together. Maybe you can fall apart, and God will catch the pieces. You open your mouth, and the words come out broken but real. Thank you for being with me in the valley. Thank you for not leaving when I left you. Help me forgive you for not stopping it. Help me forgive myself for not being enough. Help me believe that this isn't the end of the story. You're still standing in that hospital corridor, the fluorescent light still buzzing, but everything feels different now. The light didn't vanish when you opened your eyes. It's still there, softer now, like the afterglow of a sunrise you thought you'd never see. You take a step toward the ICU window, your legs shaky, your heart pounding in a rhythm you haven't felt in years. Through the glass, you see her. Maya is awake. She's propped up on pillows, her face pale but her eyes open. Lily is beside her, holding her hand, tears streaming down her face. And Maya, that kid with the pink bike and the impossible faith, she sees you. She lifts her hand in a weak wave, her lips curling into a small smile. It's not a big smile. It's a survivor's smile. Worn out but real. You feel your throat close up. Your hand presses against the glass, like you could reach through and touch her. And then you notice something else. On the windowsill just outside the ICU room, a blue butterfly lands. Blue. Not just any blue, the exact shade of the butterfly Hannah used to draw on every notebook, every birthday card, every letter she left under your pillow before you shipped out. Hannah's favorite symbol. The one she said meant hope that doesn't die. You freeze. Your mind goes blank. Because you know that butterfly didn't just drift in from the parking lot. This is the same hospital with sterile air, sealed windows, and air conditioning that should make butterflies impossible. And yet there it sits, wings opening and closing slowly, like it's breathing in the same rhythm as Maya's heartbeat monitor. God, are you serious? The words hit you like a punch to the chest. Not a question, a realization. The light isn't just a voice in your head. It's in a 10-year-old girl's weak wave. It's in a blue butterfly on a hospital windowsill. It's in the way Lily looks at you through the glass, like she sees something she recognized but never expected to find. You remember the verse. Not because you've been reading your Bible, you haven't touched one in 2 years, but because Hannah had it taped to the fridge, written in her handwriting. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. Isaiah 43:2. You never believed it before. When Hannah died, those words felt like a cruel joke. You passed through waters, all right, you drowned in them. The rivers didn't overwhelm you? They did overwhelm you. They swallowed you whole and spat you out in a whiskey bottle. But now, with Maya's hand waving and a butterfly sitting like a messenger from heaven, the verse doesn't feel like a joke anymore. It feels like a promise that waited until you were ready to hear it. You think about all the details that led to this moment. The knock on your door from a little girl who needed a neighbor. The sidewalk chalk drawings that made you laugh for the first time in 2 years. The text that came at exactly the right moment. The hospital where the light found you. The butterfly that couldn't be coincidence. God sends signs of his presence in the details of our lives. That's what the old Lucas would have called cheesy religious talk. The old Lucas would have rolled his eyes and reached for another bottle. But the new Lucas, the one kneeling in a hospital hallway, his knees hitting the cold tile floor before he even realizes what he's doing, that Lucas sees it. Hope can appear in the simplest, most unexpected ways. A weak wave, a butterfly, a text from a desperate mother, a woman named Lily who didn't give up on a broken man, a child who believed in miracles when no one else did. You're on your knees now. You don't care who sees you, the nurses, the orderlies, the families waiting in plastic chairs. Let them stare. Let them think you've lost it. Maybe you have, or maybe you found the only thing that ever made sense. You bow your head. Your hands are shaking. Your voice is cracked and raw, barely a whisper. Lord, I see your hand. Help me trust in the little miracles. And then the words keep coming, because once you start, you can't stop. For the first time in 2 years, you're really praying. Not bargaining, not blaming, just praying. I don't understand why Hannah died. I don't understand why Maya got sick. I don't understand any of it. But I saw the butterfly. I saw her wave. I saw you in that hallway. And I don't want to be the man who walks away from that. I don't want to be the man who sees a miracle and calls it luck. I want to be the man who falls on his knees and says, I believe. So here I am, on my knees, with nothing but a broken heart and a blue butterfly. Help my unbelief. Your forehead touches the floor. The tile is cold and hard, but it feels like holy ground. Lucas falls to his knees in the hallway and prays for the first time in 2 years. You whisper it before you even know you're going to. Father, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like a knot you've been carrying in your chest for 2 years finally starts to loosen. And then you feel it. A hand on your shoulder. Warm. Solid. Not the cold draft of a hospital hallway, but something that feels like presence. You flinch and look up, expecting to see a nurse, an orderly, maybe Lily standing over you. No one is there. You stop in front of her. She opens her mouth to say something, but you shake your head. Let's go home. She blinks. What? Lucas. Maya is still. Let's go home, you repeat, and your voice is steadier than it's been in years. You were right. He never left us. I saw it. I felt it. He's been here the whole time. I just couldn't see through the noise. She stares at you, searching your face for something, maybe the old Lucas, the one who would make a joke and change the subject. But the old Lucas is gone. I saw a butterfly, you say, in the hallway, right after I prayed. It landed on my hand. Blue, like the one Hannah used to draw. Lily's hand flies to her mouth. Oh, Lucas. It was her. I know it was. Not in a creepy, ghost story way, but in a God-sent-a-sign way. You exhale. And I felt a hand on my shoulder just now. There was no one there, Lily. No one. But I felt it. Tears spill down her cheeks. She doesn't wipe them away. I've been praying for you every night, she whispered. Every single night. I know. You crouch down in front of her. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of this. But I'm done running. I'm done pretending that I'm fine, that I can fix this on my own, that my pride is worth more than my peace. She reaches out and takes your hand. That's the Lucas I've been waiting to see. You let the moment settle. Then you stand and offer her your hand. Let's get some coffee. The cafeteria is open. Maya is stable. The doctor said she's out of the woods. We can come back in an hour. She hesitates, then takes your hand. Okay, but only because I think you actually need to talk to someone who isn't a hallucination. You almost laugh. Almost. As you walk together toward the elevator, the words from the Bible you haven't opened in 2 years surface in your mind. Not like a memory, like a fresh whisper. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Hannah had it on a sticky note on the bathroom mirror. You used to read it every morning and roll your eyes. Now it feels like a lifeline. Casting your anxiety, not fixing it, not analyzing it, not drowning it in whiskey or burying it under sarcasm. Just casting. Like throwing a heavy coat off your shoulders and letting someone else carry it. For so long, you thought surrender was weakness. That letting go meant giving up. That admitting you couldn't do it alone was a failure. But surrender isn't weakness. It's the most honest thing a human can do. It's the moment you stop trying to hold the universe together with your 2 cracked hands and say, I can't. But you can. Surrender is the beginning of healing. Because healing can't start until the tight grip loosens. Until you open your hands. Until you stop punishing yourself for things you can't change and start trusting that God is big enough to carry them. That's what forgiveness is, isn't it? Not pretending the past didn't happen. Not letting people off the hook, but releasing the grip, letting the wound breathe, letting the air in. Forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others. They're the same door. And when you open it, you don't know what's on the other side. But you know it's not the same dark room you've been sitting in. You think about Hannah, about the anger you've held against her for leaving, against yourself for not being enough, against God for letting it happen. You're not ready to forgive it all. Not yet. But you're ready to start. And starting is enough. You walk into the hospital cafeteria. It's nearly empty, a few vending machines, a tired-looking nurse nursing a cup of burnt coffee, the smell of stale sandwiches. You grab 2 cups of coffee and slide one to Lily. She wraps her hands around it, and for a moment, neither of you speaks. Then you bow your head. Right there in the middle of a fluorescent-lit hospital cafeteria at 3 a.m. Lord, you whisper, and the prayer feels like a door swinging open. I give you my shame, all of it, The guilt I've been carrying for 2 years. The fear that I'm not good enough, that I'll never be good enough. The fear of losing someone again. The fear of hope. You pause. Your voice is rough. Make me whole. Lily is silent, but you can feel her eyes on you. You know she's praying too. And here's the thing you're starting to understand. Wholeness isn't about having no cracks. It's about letting the light shine through them. You open your eyes. Lily is smiling through tears. You're different, she says. I hope so, you say. Because the old me was a disaster. He was, she says, but there's no malice in it. But that's okay. Disasters make the best miracles. You think about Maya. About the butterfly. Part 10/10. The best is yet to come. 6 months later, Lucas Grant is sitting at a drafting table in a converted garage that smells like sawdust and hope. Not whiskey. Not regret. Sawdust. And hope. The project in front of him is small by architectural standards, a reading nook for a children's charity called the Butterfly House. 500 square feet of glass and reclaimed wood, designed specifically for kids who've lost someone. Kids like Maya. Kids like the girl who showed up on his doorstep with a butterfly and a question he's still learning to answer. He sketches by hand now. No CAD software. Just pencil and paper, the way his grandfather taught him. Every line is intentional. Every corner is rounded so no child gets hurt. Every window is low enough for a 10-year-old to look through and see the sky. Sarah comes by on Tuesdays. She brings coffee black for him, oat milk latte for herself, and they sit on the steps of the garage and talk about nothing important. The weather, Maya's homework, the fact that Lucas finally threw away the empty whiskey bottles that had been living in his closet like gravestones. They don't remarry. That's not the story. The story is harder and better than that. They learn to be parents together without being a couple. They learn to co-parent a spirit, Maya's spirit, that somehow brought them back from the dead. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about grief. It either destroys your relationships or it forges them into something stronger. Not romantic, not perfect, just real. Last month, Lucas became Maya's legal guardian. The judge was a woman in her 60s with kind eyes and a no-nonsense voice. She looked at Lucas over her reading glasses and said, "Mr. Grant, this is not a decision I take lightly. Can you tell me why you want to raise this child?" And Lucas, who had spent 2 years running from every responsibility, looked at Maya sitting in the front row and said, "Because she showed up at my door when I was drowning, and I want to be the person who shows up for her." The judge signed the papers. Maya hugged him so hard he almost fell over. And Lily, standing in the back of the courtroom, wiped her eyes and smiled like she'd known this would happen all along. The writer you're reading now wants to land this plane with a scripture that's been beating like a heart through this entire story. It's from the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. You've heard it before, probably. Maybe you've got it on a coffee mug or a wall decal or tattooed on someone's forearm at the grocery store. But hear it again. Not as a slogan, as a promise. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Here's what that verse actually means in the original Hebrew. God isn't saying your life will be easy. He's not promising a white picket fence and a 401k. He's saying that the chaos you're walking through right now, the hospital hallways, the empty apartments, the midnight texts, the prayers that felt like they hit the ceiling and died, all of it is part of a plan you can't see yet. You're not lost. You're in transition. Healing doesn't erase the past. That's the lie we tell ourselves, that if we just pray hard enough, forgive enough, go to enough church services, the scars will disappear and will be shiny and new like nothing ever happened. But that's not how grace works. Grace doesn't erase your story. It rewrites the ending. The same scars that made you hide your hands become the ones people see and say, "Me too." The same grief that almost killed you becomes the fuel for something you never saw coming. The same brokenness you thought disqualified you becomes the very thing that qualifies you to help someone else who's drowning. Lucas still has bad days. Days when the whiskey bottle calls his name from the recycling bin. Days when he looks at Maya and sees Hannah's face and feels like someone kicked him in the chest. Days when he sits in the garage and doesn't draw anything because his hands are shaking too hard. But those days don't own him anymore. Because he learned something in that hospital corridor, with the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees and a little girl fighting for her breath. Surrender isn't weakness. It's the bravest thing a human can do. Here's where I stop telling you a story and start talking to you directly. Because if you've read this far, you're not here by accident. You didn't scroll down by chance. Something in you recognized something in this story. Maybe it's the grief. Maybe it's the guilt. Maybe it's the hope you've been too afraid to name. God says, "I'm so sorry." Not because he made a mistake, but because he sees your pain and he weeps with you. Jesus wept at Lazarus' tomb even though he knew he was about to raise him from the dead. That's how much God enters into your suffering. So here's your invitation. Take a step of faith. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Right now. If this message is speaking straight to your heart, hit that subscribe button and stay close. You are not alone. Your story is far from over, and the best is yet to come.